All right, my friends, welcome. I guess welcome back. I don't know. Welcome. What a last couple of weeks, man. Straight to the topic of what I want to talk about today is the secret callers, um, on multiple levels, and really want to talk about the purpose of secret callers and then the value of secret callers. I'm going to make a statement here, and I'm not exaggerating. A secret caller is the single most efficient, make up a word, bestest way to get a quick view into the culture of your business. And I go one step further. I love this. I said this to someone recently. A secret caller is a direct look into the soul of your company, the culture, right? What happens on the secret caller, right? AKA when a new patient calls your business, your practice, your office, and they engage your team, it tells them consciously, subconsciously, exactly what they should expect from you all. Think about that for a second. Sit on that for a second. It sets the stage. It is the first point of contact. It is the entry point into the business. Have you heard any of this before? Sure you have. The value of this efficiency, right, of call your business practice, be on the phone for 8-10 minutes. What I learn and the process from what I get tells me how your practice, your culture, your business culture, right? Not only as a patient does it tell me what I should expect when I arrive through what you told me or didn't tell me, as a person doing the secret caller, acting like a new patient, then I get a glimpse of what is going to occur and what I should expect again. And I can make some assumptions when I debrief with the clinic manager, with the owner, with whoever's in charge, with that front desk person. We can start to debrief about, right? Well, what does this conversation set up for that patient? And then I could say, well, do you guys do this, or this? And they say yes or no. And I say, that's what I expected, or I didn't expect that, right? So we can take a really quick, actionable conversation from what happened on that first phone call. I love these secret callers. My favorite, I'm not going to lie, my favorite thing to do is to listen to calls, recorded calls. It really is. I get to step back and I get to be an outside observer, listening to the patients, right? And getting so much of what are people. This is the beauty of listening to recorded calls. I get to listen to people across multiple states seeking out services, right? And I get to hear about their needs and wants, and I get to listen to the similarities, and I get to listen to the uniqueness of all this. I also get to listen to how physical therapy businesses, mostly I do secret callers with other practices and other types of businesses, but mostly physical therapy. I get to hear how their team is managing the call. And I get to be an outside observer. And it's hard to explain in my brain. Sometimes I hear the front desk person, the person who answers the phone, ask a question, and I'll hit the stop button. Think about, why did they ask this question? And I'm thinking, what potentially did this person hear? And then I hit play and see how they answer it. And then I go the other way too. I hear this person, this potential new patient, sharing information and saying things. And then I'll click and hit stop and think about what should be said next? What should be discussed next? What should be brought up next? What question should be done next? So the value of listening to recorded calls is huge. Second best thing I love to do is do the secret callers, because like I said, and I need everybody to understand there is an agenda when I call, and this is it. Hi, my name is so-and-so. I have low back pain. I want to get scheduled for physical therapy. People ask me all the time, Jerry, don't be the difficult patient. Jerry, my team's, I don't expect much of my team. Go easy on them. And I say the same thing to everybody. I said, why would I start with being a difficult caller when we don't even know how your team manages the 80 to 90% of normal calls they get every week? They say, good points. I say, The thing you should be worried about is how they respond to the everyday callers. The trouble calls are such a small percentage. Who cares? I don't train people on how to manage the 5%, the 10%, the 20%. I train and set up processes and systems and train people for the 80%. And you guys have heard me say this before. You need to execute on the systems and processes 100% of the time, right? So you can be successful as frequently as much as possible. But if you're not executing 100% of the time, that's when you start to chip away at this, right? So I call, I say, hi, my name is, and I make a name up. I have low back pain. I want to get scheduled for physical therapy. The rest of it, I literally open my mind. I have no set agenda. My agenda is to see where I am taken. And boy, oh boy, you don't have to work very hard at this because everybody manages it so differently. And if I had an agenda or I had specific things I wanted answered, it would make it more difficult for me to take a step back and be as objective as possible. Here's what I do. I write down every single question that's asked of me in the order it's asked. So I have that record, and then I take some notes at the end, which you guys all know pretty much reflects around why should I arrive? And I just go from there. And again, the more I do it, the more I love it. The more I do it, the more I appreciate that, yes, I have a structure, right? And let it flow, let it rip. And I got to tell you, as a person who has had physical therapy in the past, is going to go through physical therapy again, works with physical therapy clinics, I'm just a person calling, right? I've got low back pain. I need to get back to something. I have a problem. So much that I seeked out I won't even say an expert, that I seeked out a resource, maybe a solution, and I called them. That's it. So when people ask me questions like, I just had a question and it was interesting. God, I got to tell you guys, the way these questions are asked, people go, well, right, I asked them for their story or I asked them for this information. I'm like, no, that's not the question you asked. People answer the question that's asked of them. So I call and I say, hi, my name's so-and-so, right? I have low back pain. And I get how long has it been going on? Well, you and I both know, because I've done enough of this work, this person wants 3 or 4 things out of that question. They want to know what happened, how long it's been going on, and roughly what I've been doing. But they said, how long has it been going on? And this is what I hear. How long has it been going on? And my story always is the same, right? So I give the same answer as always. I say, oh, about 4 weeks ago, right? I heard it in the gym. That was the question that was asked of me. That's it. And actually telling them I heard it in the gym wasn't even the question they asked. How long has this been going on? Oh, about 4 weeks. And I can hear the confusion through the dead air on the other end. And the calls go like this. And the last call I just did, I've got a boatload of questions written down. And I'm like, they know nothing about me. And I know nothing about them. And so I've already got this quick glimpse into, and by the way, as soon as I hung up and looked down at the notes and really made a quick pass, of which I do, so I make sure I have everything down, I realized I'm like, this person was in the middle of something. I interrupted them. And I could sense that through the questions. Through this was interesting too, right? Telling them I had low back pain, telling them how I heard it, having them acknowledge that, and then later having me asking questions that in my brain, I'm going, did I tell her this already? And again, not from trying to catch her, not from trying to do a training call, but going, if I'm an actual person, I'm going, I just shared that with you. Why are you asking me that again? It's awkward. So again, this quick glimpse into the culture and what I should expect. You know, there's so much value in these secret callers. And I've recently put out some notes to people saying, look, I love doing this. I'm happy to do this. And I'm happy to do a debrief. It takes about a 10-minute, 5-minute, 10-minute debrief, right? Everybody always says, oh, you know, it's really bad. I'm like, why don't you just ask me to do it? Because tell me it's really bad. When I tell you it's really bad, you're going to go, yeah, I knew that. I'm like, that's not the point. The point is you want to know how your current system is working. We want feedback on your current system. And if you ask the right questions on the debrief and you want to know, I can probably pretty much give you some ways, right? I got all the questions. I had the way you currently handled it. I could tell you some things your team could start doing tomorrow to change that trajectory so that your team is set up better for what? Arrive, pay, and stay, because that's what the first phone call is about. The first phone call is to start to build trust, start to build a relationship, set the provider up for success. And for me, the person who's a potential new patient, to understand what value I can get from you guys, and then make a decision if I want to schedule or not. The number of secret callers I've done where that's the process is less than 1%. Everybody is coming from get me on a schedule mindset. And you know what's going to happen with this? Right? This call, I look at this call, and this person, right, is going to call back and cancel and say it's too expensive. And the front desk team is going to relate back to the business owner, clinic manager, that it was a price objection and people just don't want to pay. And when you look at my notes, there's no value to be had. There's no value. There's nothing for me to value in this conversation of the things that were shared with me. I was told about treatments and services. I was not told how they relate to me. I was scheduled with a PT with an expert with no name. I was never told the name. I was told they help a lot of people like me, but can you really help me? Okay, cool. You've helped a lot of people like me, but what about me? Right. And so there's no value on the sheet as I'm looking at it. And by the way, this is the way the bulk of the calls go. And by the way, the calls I did last week were worse. And again, you're going to go back and go, we need more leads. And I'm going to go, do not put anybody into your fucking system. You're wasting their time, money, and energy, and you're wasting your time, money, and energy. Right. So you don't want to make marketing decisions till you know how this first step is being managed. This is what a secret caller is about. This is the feedback you can take and implement into your sales process so that you can make sure that the money you're investing into your marketing is paying off. Because the right intake process should find out how I found you. Why did I call you? So you went to our website. Cool. What did you see, right? We went to your website is zero. It's useless without the follow-up question. Oh, Jerry, you went to our website? Awesome. What is it you saw on our website that got you to call us? That's the goal. That's the marketing goal, right? So it's stuff like that, and talking and debriefing with clinic owners about that. This secret caller, it's a glimpse into your culture from the patient side. It's a glimpse into the soul of the business. There's no quicker way to learn more about, even if I came in and sat in through an eval without going through the first phone call, I wouldn't have the same glimpse into your practice as I do from the first phone call, because I've done it the other way. I've actually done where I do the secret caller, I schedule, and then I arrive and go through the evaluation. That is really cool. I love doing that, right? Because then it's the connection between more steps in the business. Yeah, with doing it that way, showing up just for the eval without doing the call, right? Someone puts me on the schedule and just says, hey, we got a 1:30, right? Isn't going to give me the same insight into your business as this first phone call. Huge value in secret callers, huge value in secret shoppers, huge value in the time, very short, huge value in the debrief. So just something for you to think about, because you should be recording your calls. You should be reviewing your calls, and you should have your team using it for training, continual training. How? Well, let's talk. I can tell you how, but at the very least, you can do all this. You can listen to the calls, value before price. Did I give them a reason to say yes to the price? Physical therapy is not a reason. Giving me a date and a time I asked for is not a reason. What was the other thing? You taking my insurance is not a reason. Telling me the price is not a reason, right? The reasons I schedule is because I trust you. I know you've helped people just like me. You relate everything back to the goals and the problems I want solved. You make sure you know I have an expert. You make sure and understand I know what's going to happen on that first visit, high level. You make sure I understand what the next step is. You make sure and understand that I understand. Sorry, you make sure that I understand that I was scheduled with an expert and what's going to happen during that next visit for that hour and what is going to be the result of that. Think about that for a second. I'm going to jump ahead real quick. You then want your provider to schedule someone out for a plan of care. So guess what my sell is? My sell to you, that potential new client, is at the end of all this, you'll get a plan of care tailored to you based on your hour with that expert, right? So think about this. We need to connect the dots to the next step. You need to make sure I value the next step. These are the things that need to happen on that first phone call. I'm happy to listen to your phone calls. I love doing it. I'm happy to debrief with you, right, about that phone call. I'm happy to share with you actionable items that you take back to your team and deliver and turn into more patients who arrive, pay, and stay. Cool. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about the secret callers and the value of this and really have you understand that it is a true glimpse into your culture. From a patient, you're telling me what to expect. From a business consultant, I'm like assuming and knowing what to expect. And the craziness on the first phone call tells me there's not a good connection and that it's random and that maybe people who arrive will stay, maybe not. How do we change that? We manage the first phone call better. And then after that, the next step and the next step and the next step. All right. Cool. Appreciate your time. If you want to connect for a secret caller, you can comment here. You can reach out to me, private message on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, all right, all the usual places. And I'm more than happy to do a secret caller. It takes me roughly 10 minutes. It's about a 5-minute setup. I do the call. I get the information. I reach out to you and say, when do you want to debrief? You tell me when to call. All I need to know is your website. I can do a secret caller, right? Know everything I need to know from your website. Cool. Cheers all. Get on it.